Again.
Good evening, miss.
Good evening, sir. Are you interested in a miraculous cure for this unknown and deadly epidemic?
Actually, I am.
Then you have come to the right place. The famous Swanborough cordial is all you need to help keep you in perfect health.
Oh, really? Why didn't I hear about it during my studies? I'm Jonathan Reed, by the way. Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Ah, my brother has spoken of your research, sir. I'm Loretta Swanborough, and it's always a pleasure to meet a fellow healer.
Tell me, who intrigues you most in Whitechapel?
The region itself is something to see, but I would say Camellia the mute florist who gives away her flowers.
What do you think of the locals?
Most of them are afraid or desperate. They all come to me eventually for my remedy.
Is there anyone I should avoid?
Cadogan Bates, without a doubt. The bloody bastard
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? I'd like to know more about her.
I don't like to talk about competition.
Competition, you say?
Never met her, but it seems she provides some sort of medical care to the poor. The whole thing has to be some sort of scam, if you ask me.
I'd like to see what kind of medicine you're...
Its effectiveness has been proven by many. Even the flu is no match for the Swanborough cordial. Good evening.
I'd like to see what...
What do you want? Leave me alone.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I'm looking for Nurse Dorothy Crane.
There is no Dorothy Crane here. Now goodbye.
I'm afraid this medical leaflet says the opposite, sir.
Really? Well, I'm afraid I'm going to close this door right now. Go bother someone else, Mr. Doctor.
To enter that house, I must discover who this man really is. I must insist, sir. Please let me see Nurse Crane.
I have no time for you, sir.
I must insist, sir. Please let me see Nurse Crane.
I have no time for you, sir.
It's locked. No one's there. There's nobody here. I cannot enter. It's locked, all right.
Strange man was at the door with a pass for our medical facility. I refused him entry.
Darius, how could you know he didn't need our help?
His clothes were too finely tailored to be for Whitechapel.
Perhaps just a friend of that stray poet who is always about.
Richard Nithercott? No, not of the same cloth, this man. I suspect some machination from that journalist.
Clayton Darby. Is he still asking questions?
Yes. I saw him drifting around St. Mary's Church. I swear he is tracking me just downwind.
I must talk to that journalist or the poet. They must know about Darius. Nearby the church they just mentioned.
Come on, take a look. Don't be afraid. Cheap price, good quality. Come on, take a look. Don't be afraid. Welcome, sir. Please, take...
I am Dr. Reed.
Doctor? Interesting. I'm Barrett Lewis. Usually I don't have time to waste with talk, but at this hour of the night I can hardly refuse.
How is business?
Business? I have no business. Between this racket...
I see. Sounds like you...
It's no secret Joe Peterson spends his time harassing merchant.
As a merchant, you see Whitechapel.
What, you mean besides the epidemic, the war, and all the usual crap?
Have you been hurt?
No, but that's only because I ran like hell.
Violence is increased?
Yeah. A few nights ago, some blokes jumped me.
Where did this happen?
In the closed workshops nearby.
Have you heard of a nurse?
Nurse Crane. So the bitch rid...
Yes, she's a nurse. And
Dorothy Crane ain't even a real name. Something like Dorothy...
that doesn't explain what...
Your precious Nurse Crane gives away medic...
Right then.
I should never have
Excuse me, sir. I have a few...
Another journalist? I didn't answer the first one.
I'm not a journalist.
A doctor, you say?
Really? But still, here I am.
I'm Joe Peterson to some, but
Have you heard of a nurse named Dorothy Crane?
Dorothy Crane. Yeah,
Could you please tell me more about...
she's a nice girl. Tries to...
May I ask what you do?
I do whatever I want, and sometimes
According to you,
not familiar with this neighborhood, are you?
this part of town does have quite a reputation.
Totally. Look at me, for instance.
How did you become the local bully
There's no pride in roughing up poor bastards.
A job?
I got enlisted by the Wet Boot Boys, a gang from the docks.
Most people don't become thugs.
I don't care what you think, sir.
I'm not sure Mr. Lewis would agree with you.
Oh, do you really think he's the poor victim here? Barrett.
Goodbye, Mr. Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I would like to ask...
Please be my guest. Although...
Really?
I'm a poet, sir.
May I ask you a few questions about the district?
Extraordinary part of town, is it not? I'll be glad to help you, if I can.
What can you tell me about an old man called Darius?
Darius Petrescu. Yes, I know him. At first, I thought he was only a small publisher. I invited him to publish my work, but his reaction was pretty clear.
Not interested in your talent?
Darius is an old political activist who takes delight in printing...
I'm looking for Dorothy Crane.
Dorothy Crane.
May I ask what you're doing at this hour of...
Not at all. I'm just enjoying the pleasure.
But are you not afraid?
Oh, why should I? I see some equity.
If you say so.
Thank you, Doc.
What are your thoughts?
Terrible, you say?
What are you talking?
Do you remember London before the flu?
Yes. The enjoyable summer.
Most people fail to understand my perspective.
Are you aware that your life could be in danger?
But this is...
Are you aware that your life could...
But this is...
If some misfortune came upon you...
Well, you, for a start, my dear doctor.
I understand your need for solitude.
I don't care. I don't have many...
Tell me, Mr. Nethercott, what...
The place is not beautiful per se, but...
Do you not think it...
On the contrary, sir. Whitechapel is full of life, full of...
What can you tell me?
Not much. And that...
And have you ever tried to learn more about her? Where she lives?
Maybe I prefer she remain...
Perhaps you're just afraid to find out...
One day, perhaps, I'll ask her to come with me.
In what way, exactly?
The struggle by gaslight.
If you say so.
Such vibrant antagonism.
Vivid.
Oh, yes?
I'll leave you alone. Good evening.
And good evening.
You don't really make a living from your scribble.
No, sir, I don't. I work
When she was younger, my mother...
My parents pay for my rent, my food, and my clothes. All I have to give them in return is lies they...
You seem embarrassed.
Someday I hope to proudly offer my first...
Do you need medical attention?
It may be wise to let you...
I understand your appetite for words and macabre beauty, sir. But you should be more careful.
The nutrition of my mind is more important than my physical health.
Do you need medical attention, sir?
Do you have a pill for
I'll leave you alone.
Oh, Camellia.
Good evening, Mr. Nithercott.
And good evening.
I'll leave you... Good evening, miss. I'm Doctor... I know what you're thinking. Tell me about Richard Nithercott. I understand. Melia, I know you work for Dorothy Crane. A stubborn and mute comrade. I know you understand what I'm saying. You don't seem to need my medical attention. Very well.
For there is no protection against malevolence and trickery.
Excuse me, sir. Are you familiar with this part of town? Name's Clayton Darby.
Sorry, I'm new to Whitechapel.
Dr. Reed, the famous surgeon. Oh,
I heard you're investigating an under...
not much, I'm afraid. They are wary of strangers, and I'm not really an acquaintance.
I'm afraid one of the nurses from the Pembroke...
Ah,
Without a doubt, you are a damn fun...
I don't know much about the man. He's very cool.
He never goes...
No. A few days ago, he unexpectedly...
Really?
He went to the nearest mailbox, but...
He has no relative?
No. Except for that strange man.
Where can I find this?
He spends most of his time lurking around Whitechapel.
Why are the newspapers keeping silent about this?
There's a war going on. People shouldn't...
It's a disgrace. People are...
These are bad times indeed.
Have you any...
I've had to run and hide more...
I'm convinced there is...
Really?
What is a journal?
He goes...
So you risk your life to reveal the...
Whitechapel is the crucible...
That's quite...
Not at all.
Do you need assistance?
That would be nice of you, Doctor.
If you persist in investigating the most...
Thank you, sir.
Goodbye, Mr. Duck.